And part of that is just in the way that we define value. Right? What is value? If you really sit down and think about what is value, look at your business and what you sell and the things you sell and ask yourself, what is the value that I provide? What is the value that these products provide or my services provide? Because very often we get confused with our value. We think that it's the product, we think that it's the benefits, we think that it's the features, but it's not. Interestingly, it's not. See, people buy for one reason or one of two reasons. They're either running away from something or running towards something. They're always looking for transformation, right? So value can be defined very specifically as the importance of the transformation in the mind of the customer. So it's the importance of the transformation that you're offering in the mind of the customer. If they see it as more important, they're going to put more value to it. If they see it as less important, they'll put less value to it. Now, how do we relate that back to money? It comes back to trust and relevance. So the more that I trust you, the more that I think that you'll be able to deliver that value. So if you can look at money and value, if they're evenly balanced on this fulcrum of trust and relevance, then the amount of value you have to offer for the money, they're very evenly balanced, right? But if there's very little trust, as in the scenario in which I'm trying to sell Folgers to the artisanal coffee person or the other way around, then you have to really offer a lot of value for a little bit of money. The opposite is true. When somebody really trusts you, then the amount of value you have to offer is a lot less than the money that you're trying to charge for it. So the opportunity always comes down to that idea of value and trust and relevance. And what you want to do is move people away from, bickering over the prices or not buying, and moving really towards, hey, just shut up and take my money. Let me buy this thing already. And the way to do that is to talk specifically about the value to them and establish trust and relevance. And you can't do this if you are trying to market and sell to everybody who comes in the door. In fact, the process of understanding your value and the process of developing that trust and relevance feels to your customer a lot like dating, where they have to get to know you. And a lot of times when we're just trying to sell to somebody who comes straight in the door, that feels a bit like assault. That feels a bit like walking up to somebody and asking them to get married when they don't even know you. So an interesting way to start thinking about how to market and how to appeal to that avatar is to think about how human intimacy happens. And Desmond Morris was a zoologist who wrote some interesting books and did some interesting studies, just observational studies on human behavior and how humans go from, strangers to becoming intimate life partners or having intimate relationships. And it's really interesting. See, he developed 12 different stages of intimacy, stages that people go through to go from stranger to having an intimate relationship. And the first one is eye to body. I see you, right? The second one is eye to eye. I look you in the eyes. Then it's voice to voice and hand to hand. And I'll just pause here for a second to just point out that if you go to a networking event and you're sitting there at the buffet and then someone comes around, they haven't even looked at you, they just stick their hand out and they start shaking your hand, it's going to feel really awkward. It's going to feel really strange. It's kind of like assault because they've skipped too many steps. You can skip one, maybe two, but you really can't skip more than two. And I'd argue you can't skip more than one. You really have to go through this entire process. You can go through it quickly, but you have to go through the entire process. And after hand to hand, there's arm to shoulder, arm to waist or back, mouth to mouth, hand to head, hand to body, right? And each one of these sort of builds on that intimacy that you've created in the previous stage. And I will note that this is, I recognize this is very sort of Western, right? So if you go to my wife's culture, there's kissing probably before hand to hand, but there's still a process. And you can look to movies, you can see how people go through these processes, maybe just in 5 minutes, but they're going to go through each step as they make their way to some sort of intimate behavior. And this is what we have to create in our marketing. And we have to do this even though it feels to us like we're talking to the whole world. They have to have that much more intimate experience.
Thanks for joining us, and a special thanks to our subscribers. Consider becoming one right now and tap into our insights and instincts to help drive your business vision and success. Remember, you didn't start your business to feel frustration. You started it for freedom. We can help you discover the impact, freedom, and wealth you always imagined. Learn more at startgrowmanage.com/learn more.